The British Broadcasting Corporation's fighting back hard, issuing 47 subpoenas against Donald Trump, the Trump family, members of his cabinet, the FBI, Homeland Security, and the rest as they fight for their life in the $10 billion defamation case brought by Donald Trump in Miami, Florida, back in December of 2025. And they're fighting it out now in front of a magistrate judge about the 47 subpoenas, including information about Donald Trump's finances. I mean, if you're suing for $10 billion, you're claiming that your reputation was damaged to the tune of $10 billion, you have an obligation to prove actual damages, then of course there's going to be subpoenas out to find out about your finances. And Donald Trump may not like the fact that the BBC's primary defense is to show that Donald Trump actually incited and fomented violence during his ellipse speech on Jan 6, 2020. But that's what this case is about. Trump wants to make it about a 12-second clip that the BBC on one of its affiliates that nobody watches played a cut and paste of the ellipse speech that made it look like, he used his own words, but cut out about 3 or 4 minutes in between. Oh ho, that's defamatory. I'm going to catch you up right here. 47 subpoenas and the attempt by Donald Trump to get rid of a magistrate judge that he doesn't like. That's the judge that sits under the federal Article 3 judge, and why that happened here on Legal AF on Friday. 12 fresh videos for you. If you like Legal AF and the content, hit the free subscribe button. It's hard to keep track of all the defamation cases. See, generally, presidents who are in office don't bring civil lawsuits, mainly because they're immune from having to, if they get sued and they're the defendant, they're immune from suit until they leave office because the Supreme Court says so. Because the Supreme Court says generally a president is too busy in his day job as commander-in-chief and leader of the free world and as an occupant of the Oval Office to do civil litigation. But Donald Trump has flipped that on its head because he's the plaintiff. He's brought a defamation case against the Wall Street Journal. He's brought a defamation case against the New York Times. He's brought a defamation case against the BBC. Anything he doesn't like in the paper, he brings a defamation case, usually for billions and billions and billions of dollars. Well, the BBC is taking it seriously, and they've done a series of things in the Southern District of Florida, where I practice, in Miami, in front of Judge Altman. They have filed a motion to dismiss the complaint, arguing that Donald Trump fundamentally has not proved actual damage or injury. The best that Donald Trump says in his complaint is that his profession or occupational interests have been damaged. Okay, well, then the other party is allowed to explore in discovery the amount of money that you have. Because if you're seeking that, if you're trying to claim damages, you want to put a big fat number in a complaint so that it gets all the headlines, you might have to stand and deliver in the discovery process and in the court process to turn over the documents. See, these 47 subpoenas against Donald Trump, his family, all of his entities that he does business through, his cabinet, Homeland Security, FBI, Department of Justice, to get the Jan 6 committee records, those of Jack Smith. This is all of his own making because the BBC didn't want to do discovery. They filed a motion in the case to stop discovery, stop this exchange of documents, no subpoenas, no depositions for anybody while their motion to dismiss was pending. See, federal courts like to keep the cases progressing, so they don't generally stop discovery during a motion to dismiss. But since it's also on what's called personal jurisdiction, meaning the BBC is saying, you're suing me in the wrong place. I'm abroad. I'm in UK. You can't sue me in Florida for this. They wanted that opened up before they opened up all this discovery. And who opposed it? Donald Trump's lawyers, Alejandro Brito of Coral Gables, Florida. He said, no, discovery must continue. Well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So if you oppose the discovery being blocked, now that it's open, it's very hard for you to say, but I don't like the discovery that they're sending me, Judge. I don't like all 47 subpoenas. It's too many. It's a fishing expedition. It's not. It's tailored to the defense that they have. Their main argument for the BBC is that this was a statement of opinion, that there's no damage and there can be no damage because Donald Trump did foment discontent and the rabble and point them at the Capitol for them to attack. And if he fomented the violence, then he can't win on the fact that there was a 12-second clip that he didn't like about, I'm going to go down there with you. Remember that one? I'm going to go down there with you. And then he went the opposite direction and went to the White House to sit in the dining room. So we have the filings that have been made, including, and we'll put them up in Legal AF Substack for those to read who are paid members. We've got this whole request that the magistrate judge who is responsible for discovery, Magistrate Judge Lett, decide on the 47 subpoenas. I think Trump's on the wrong is on the wrong foot here. He's wrong-footed because he's already asked for discovery to continue, and that was granted. He won that. The main judge of the case, Judge Altman, said, "Yeah, okay. I'm not going to stop discovery. In fact, I'm going to set trial in this case for February 15th of 2027. February 15th, 2027, a year from this February. That's how long it takes for civil cases to go to trial. Federal courts are a little busy